Welcome back, my legends, to the Legends of the Frontier podcast. Don't blame me, blame democracy. So we're going to do some kind of soft reboot about the podcast because I actually have a guest. He's one of the most notorious journalists out there who's been slandering Hammond Robotics. Please welcome my guest, Spear. Who in the world is clapping? I thought I told everybody to, hey, get rid of him.
Oh God, please, no! 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 No!
So Spear, tell us something about yourself.
I'm Spear. I'm a creative designer and I am in the Apex community. Some people know me, some people don't, but that's me.
Okay, so Spear, you are basically like a crazy person that's into the lore, right?
You could say that, yeah.
What's your main?
My main legend.
Yeah, who you main? Or who you started out with and then like, you know, transition to?
Well, I started out with Lifeline. And then when Crypto came out, I made him for a while. And I am currently a Bloodhound main.
So why you decided to use Bloodhound?
I guess when they buffed them, it was just, I need to use them because that's sonar and I've always liked the kind of stalker kind of gameplay besides being a support class, but I wanted to try out Bloodhound because not many people were using them.
Is there like something you relate to Bloodhound? Because I can kind of relate to Caustic in a certain way. Actually, I can relate a bit to every legend, but why Bloodhound specifically for you?
First of all, I kind of like their backstory. They're this mysterious individual and the whole aesthetic, I love it as well. It's all about their voice lines and the way they project themselves in the arena and with other legends. I love the voice line that they had in the quest when they told Loba to not sleep. It's just their personality. We've been given traits of their personality that makes it even more mysterious, and I'm just really into it right now. That's why I'm maining Bloodhound.
When Apex first came out for me, and I started off with, first I started with Wraith, then I went on to Mirage. Then like I tried using Caustic when I unlocked them, but back then he wasn't that good, if I remember right. His gas can only did like you needed 2 gas cans to like knock somebody down. I remember that very specifically. Like I was wondering like, why do I need 2 gas cans to knock somebody out? But you did. So you had to put 1 gas can, count like halfway through the life of the gas can, and then put another one, then you can knock them out. But as soon as he got a buff, that's when I started loving him, and I never switched ever since.
Yeah, that's the thing that happened with Lifeline and Crypto and Bloodhound. Like when I started out with Lifeline, I chose her because people knew how to play with her. Like when I played with randos, they always used Lifeline the wrong way. They were always playing individually and not as a team play. So I made her for a while. Then Crypto came in. Obviously, I got into him because of the lore and how mysterious he was and the Crypto ARG. So that was the connection I had with Crypto, and I used him for a while. But again, like you said, when legends get buffs, you kind of want to get into them to see if it's worth the try, and that's what happened with Bloodhound. I was just like, yeah, this buff is amazing.
Okay, so let's get into the lore right now, like the Crypto ARG. Now, when it first came out, I honestly thought it was some kind of fan, like just this crazy fan doing all this stuff. And then it turns out that later on that it is part of the lore. So I know you've done a lot with that, so can you please explain what's going on with that?
Yeah, the Crypto ARG started out in October, more or less. It started as a community project. It was designed and created by high members of the main subreddit and the community.
So it was a fan thing that was created first, right?
Yeah, it was a fan-made project. It was very clear from the start. You could see it in the videos. It was watermarked as a community project, community-made project.
Yeah, because the thing about it is that when I first saw it, you know, I was like everybody. I was like, why does this matter? This doesn't tie into anything, you know? Please explain why is it important now?
It's important now because all the puzzles and riddles and things that you had to solve during that ARG, it eventually led us to a canon lore piece from Crypto that connects with his latest loading screen in Season 5. That's why it became important, because we revealed a canon lore piece confirmed by the writers, specifically by Tom and Manny.
When I saw that it was actually connected to that, I was like, whoa. So I guess I had to take this actually serious. And that's the thing. Nobody took it serious, but it actually connects to the person that framed Crypto. So I kind of have a bit of the lore, or you want to explain it?
You want to talk about the Crypto ARG lore? Yeah, sure, we can do that. Well, the thing is that the Crypto ARG was divided in phases, right? And we didn't know that it was gonna reveal a lore piece up until the end, the last part of phase 3. And that's when we got confirmation that we were gonna get a canon lore piece. And so people were very interested in what was gonna happen. We didn't know what it was gonna be about. And then when it came out, it was basically a work order. It's a work order receipt from Crypto that dates back to 2 years ago, I believe, in Apex Legends time.
So that will be in 2731, correct?
Yes. It's a work order that basically describes, when you read it, you can pick up that it's in that time they were, when I say them, is Mystic 2 is a group of computer engineers that Mila and Taejun Park, which is Crypto, they had this group. It was called Mystic 2, and they got hired by ABMS, if I'm not mistaken, the Apex Broadcasting's monitoring system, if I'm not mistaken. So they got hired by this corporation.
Was it the syndicate, or was it like a separate group?
It appears to be a separate group that wanted to get sponsored by the syndicate to transmit the game, to stream the games.
Oh, okay, I see.
So it's not directly tied, but we do know that QW, which is the mysterious person that apparently made Crypto's life the worst, like it just torn his life apart.
Yes.
He, or let's say them, they were the one that hired Mila and Taejun Park to design drones. So that's basically the lore piece we got from the ARG, just a confirmation that the Forever Family video didn't take that long ago. It was just very recent, and that they worked as a computer engineer group and got hired by someone that had high connections with the syndicate and wanted to stream and broadcast the games.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick self-promoting break and we'll be right back, my legends. Do you like buying Mozambique skins for $20? Of course not, because you're not an idiot. But you know what's not an overpriced ripoff? Being a supporter of my channel. Now, like most things in my life, I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's somehow working. So I created these Apex Legends badges. So if you want to support my work with a small price of McDonald's meal, now you can. And as always, thank you for your support, your financial support. Or you can make EA richer and buy that $20 Mozambique skin. You know, no pressure, nothing. It would just probably drop us a kit. Okay, so the syndicate had nothing to do with hiring Taejun Park, Mila, and Mystic. So this group wanted to be sponsored by the syndicate.
Yeah, they were still, at that time, they were still looking for the syndicate to approve their program, their whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So they were looking for sponsorship and approval from the syndicate. So even if they're not syndicate related, they had to have connections with them in order to get that approval, because as we know, the games, the Apex games currently are being transmitted throughout the Outlands. So
yes. Okay, so I see. So I was wrong. Okay, so I had to make a video about that, because from the way I understood it is because, you know, I never like looked into the crypto RG and stuff because I thought it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But now it does matter. So now this tells me is that this group, this company, you think they have anything to do with the prediction algorithm, or was that already in place, like with the syndicate?
Well, that's the thing.
Like once they got approved.
Because according to Crypto's bio and whatnot, like his extra story and all that, we think, well, they get the algorithm, the prediction algorithm, from whoever they were working with, and at that time they were most likely working with ABMS. So the prediction algorithm is from the syndicate, but maybe it was being developed by another company like ABMS, and Mila and Crypto got a hold of it. So yeah, it's all connected. I think that the syndicate very well knows about the prediction algorithm. They may have hired someone else like that company to develop it, just to have nobody trace them back to it. Yeah. So
yeah, that's what I was getting at, because one of the things that I found really weird about Mila disappearing is that, well, as we know now, is that she escaped.
yeah.
But one of the podcasts that I made, I was saying, why did they have to declare her dead? And then I realized, oh, I get it. It's because that way they could blame it on Taejung Park and make it and say that it was some kind of family incident. So to cover their back, they will say that, oh, she was murdered by Taejung Park. That way there's, you know, they can just blame it on him because he clearly is paranoid, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't take any risk. He even said that himself in the Forever trailer. Like, so to me, it was going to be hard to convict them on something. So the easiest thing to do it would be to blame, like, say that, oh, he killed his sister for some, you know, and just make up something. That way they can just arrest him.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think that from what we've gotten from their lore, like, it's clear that Mila was more like into the idea to getting out of that sort of lifestyle and having a new opportunity, and she would do anything that would give her a new life, right? And Crypto was more like a conservative person and just into himself and very cautious and whatnot. So it makes sense that Mila, you can see in the Forever Family video that Mila takes the chip, right? And you know for a fact that even if she quote unquote promised Crypto or Taejun that she wouldn't do anything.
So you say they were spying on them? You're saying the syndicate was spying on them, or the company that they were hired by?
Yeah, I mean, they had to keep track of that.
So the ironic thing about Crypto erasing the evidence from his computer is that if he would have just sent it to somebody, right, any random person, or just like a reporter, this would have ruined the Apex games, because all the credibility would have been lost, because people would have been like, oh, you're rigging the games. Now, we don't know if it's already implemented or they're still in the testing phase, because in the prediction algorithm, it said that Rave had an 83% chance. So there is still, it's not a guarantee win, but having an 83% chance of winning a game, I would take those odds. I would gladly take those. Who would not take those odds? So to me, a real percentage of winning should be somewhere in like 3 to 6 to 7% chance of winning. 83% chance, they're clearly rigging the game. You have any idea how you think they're rigging the games?
I don't. And to be honest, I haven't theorized in a while for now. But all the information we have is that the syndicate clearly has lots of connections with lots of corporations and industries in the Outlands and outside the frontier, even in the possibly in the core systems as well. So their pockets go deep because they have so many people involved with so many interests, but at the end of the day, it's probably money, right? And if they can have a chance to make more money by rigging the games, they will do it. Keep in mind that, you know, the leader of the Apex games, or the commissioner, is Kuben Blisk, which was the original Apex Predator.
I don't know if you saw, but the video I made about what happened in Kuben Blisk.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, well, basically, I said that Kuben Blisk is in hiding, because the way I understand Kuben Blisk, if he ever found out about this, which I think he did, he would have been pissed, because by rigging a game, right, his whole thing is that I want to prove to you I'm better than you. If you kill me, you're better. And I think this is where they told him, look, sit down, you are just a mouthpiece, right? You're just here
like
to promote the
games
games
of the Apex games.
Yeah, because to me, Kuben would never accept something like this. It's crazy. Never in a million years. He will never accept rigging. He's always been a person that wants to prove he's better. As soon as he figured out this was true, he went up to them they told him, sit down, we're in charge, we're gonna run these games our way, and he went into hiding. I think he's building up maybe a team of new Apex predators to go after, because this guy, you know Kuben, he's an old bastard. He's not gonna just go, between his tails and run. He's gonna do something about it. So I think there's a chance we might meet Cooper in the future. So what do you think? What were we gonna say about
No,
this?
I was just gonna say that even though he's all about proving himself, he also likes money. Like if there's a chance to get his hands dirty in a fight and whatnot and also make some money, he's gonna do it. Blisk is one thing as the commissioner. We don't know what the structure of the syndicate is right now, but we do know that they have connections. They don't care about Blisk right now, as we saw in the lore bits during season 4 with Revenant and introducing Revenant into the games. We saw the emails between Jacob from the syndicate and I think it was Jacob. Well, just the emails with
Jacob Young and Jacob Young
Chara
and somebody
Machi,
else.
something like that. I don't remember their names right now, but yeah, it was emails
I don't remember
between
completely. Yeah,
the syndicate and the PR department of the syndicate and Hammer Robotics, and we could see like they were running the games. Like the games can run without Blisk. So whatever happened with
because again he's just an image. I don't think he like really does that much. He's just there to promote the games, So what we learn is that from, I don't know if you are familiar with the Revenant lore. So he was awakened 313 years. Am I correct?
He was
What we also learn is that the syndicate were also working with Hammond, the old Hammond, at that time too, because in the season 5 trailer, if you look underneath Revenant was returned to the syndicate in the year 2430 some or 40. I don't remember, but he was returned to the syndicate.
He was created by the original Hammond Robotics. And in 2440, Hammond Robotics released Revenant from the lab and returned him to the syndicate for their use.
Yeah, so exactly. So Hammond Robotics and the syndicate have been working together for basically 300 years. This is what my character is based on. My character is based on this crazy conspiracy theories. He's been saying for years that, hey, it's kind of crazy that we're trusting the syndicate to rebuild the frontier. These guys have some connections, but back then everybody thought he was crazy, like that's what my character's based. Somebody who's been saying like, hey, should we really trust the syndicate? But nobody listened. And to this point in time, he still talks about the syndicate in like some secret underground cave, right, or base, but he has to keep it secret because if anybody ever finds out who he is, they're gonna make sure he's gonna disappear. Basically, he's never gonna be heard of again. So that's what my character really is based on. Somebody who's been like telling everybody for years that, hey, don't trust Hammond and the syndicate because of their connections, and finally got proof. I don't know if in one of my intros, he got like a little top secret where he's like, hey, they've been working for 300 years. So we see the connections between the syndicate and Hammond Robotics. Well, new Hammond Robotics. I still think that they're the same, they're still the same people that have the same goal, but different management, to that. So Spear, you have a new project you want to reveal?
Sure,
right now?
Let's talk about it.
Okay, so let's look behind the screen. Let's see what his new project is all about.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Lore Hub, a channel dedicated to the discussion of the lore of Apex Legends, focusing on facts rather than speculation. My name is Spear, and I'm a creative designer who works hand in hand with the Apex Lore team on Reddit and Discord. This is an intro episode for the Lore Hub, and I am very excited to tell you all about this new project. First, a little background on how this idea came to life. For the past year, the Apex Lore community has become the primordial source of information for players, content creators, and artists regarding the lore of Apex Legends. As Respawn continues to develop and reveal the story, more fans join the search for answers. Enter the Lore Hub. While both Reddit and Discord are used for the discussion of the lore of Apex Legends, these platforms do not necessarily reach out to the vast majority of players, and so this channel will serve as a new outlet for more precise discussions, debates, and news. Now, in terms of content, the Lore Hub will consist of short videos called Lore Drops. These videos will range between 5 to 8 minutes of duration, where I'll be using the Apex Lore database to discuss, debate, and announce news on lore. The difference from other channels is that I won't be focusing on theories, predictions, or opinions. My intention is to deliver information in a precise, summarized, and visually appealing manner for the benefit of everyone in the community. I hope all of you keep enjoying the lore of Apex Legends and join me in this new exciting project. If you'd like to support this channel and stay up to date on my latest content, click the subscribe button and follow me on Twitter at spearheadpr_, and thank you very much for watching. This is Spear, signing off.
Us about this project, not that we saw it. What made you come up with this idea?
I've been working for several months now with the Apex Lore team on Reddit and Discord, and one of the first things I did was try to organize the database for all the legends, all the lore we have analyzed and we have stored, and I decided to create a channel about it. It's basically, the Lore Hub is a channel like we just saw. It's just dedicated to the discussion of the lore, but there's no theories, no speculations, no opinions. It's just all about showing the information so people can just watch the video, hear the audio, and get caught up on lore right away without needing to go to Reddit or Discord and, you know, sitting down for hours and trying to understand what's going on. It's just a new way to just receive that information, update it, and have it all there in one new medium. That's about it.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people don't like to read.
And it's so much lore that, you know, I thought it would be nice to have a new way to look at that information. Like I said, I'm a designer, so I like looking at things visually and that they make sense and they're appealing and they're easy to understand. And I thought, well, maybe I could use this for the Apex Lore community and, you know, and bring something new to the table. I know there's lots of people, content creators and streamers that love talking about lore and coming up with their theories, but sometimes people just want to know about the information so they can come up with their own theories and they can come up with their own discussions with their friends and family and whatnot. So I just wanted to, you know, go into this niche, this specific thing that it's just the information, just put it out there. And since I helped build the lore database, well, then I thought, well, this is just, it makes sense, you know?
Yeah, so if anybody because we're gonna get like new people that want to be like, oh, whoa, like they're gonna finally notice that there's an actual story behind all this, right? The games, and they're not gonna know where to begin. So somebody like me, I can be like, hey, if you want to, you know, learn from the basics or what's going on, right? Go to this channel right here. It'll teach you the basics, the very basics, so that way they can start getting understanding. You're going to be 100% facts. What's happening now, what we know. Because I saw that they changed Bangalore's story a bit. So if they make any changes like that where they're kind of changing the lore, are you going to do an update video, or is that going to be like, are you gonna put like a description that hey,
the thing about
this
some of those videos is that I'm gonna do them with the information that I have at hand. Obviously I have to update the database on Reddit and Discord constantly. These past few days we had new updates, like you said, on Bangalore, Wraith, Crypto was like a week ago that we got an update as well. So when I do those videos on legends or specific topics that will get updates, then I'll probably add like a disclaimer saying, you know, this information is what we have right now. If they come up with an update, then you can check the description. I'll probably just make another few videos covering updates so people are, you know, aware that some legends or some lore is being updated. It's not that they're changing the lore, they're just upgrading and making sure that it reads better. Like, for example, Bangalore's bio was very hard to understand if you didn't knew about Titanfall or Titanfall 2, and if you didn't know about, you know, the IMC and Bangalore's extra story. If you didn't know about that, when you read her bio, it was very hard to understand. And now when you read it, it's very friendly, and you kind of get the whole, like the general idea of what her story is all about.
I can see why they're cleaning it
Yeah.
up, because there are some like dates that don't make sense. Even now, Fro even said, I saw on Twitter that he still doesn't understand the timeline of it.
Yeah, it's because
And Manny said they're going to clarify.
yeah, because
it, so-
when we tried to make timelines out of the dates in the Apex and Titanfall universe, we try to make it like we do right now, like using years and whatnot. And one of the things we've talked about is that maybe the lore, like the way Manny and the writers see the timelines, is different. That's why maybe they need to, clear up some of those dates. Also, they're using Apex. The Apex lore has helped a lot to connect some dots that have been missed in the Titanfall universe as well, like in the general lore. So I actually don't mind that they take some time to clear up and polish the timeline in terms of dates. I don't fixate a lot on the timeline because I know for a fact there's a lot of things they haven't updated it yet. So I try to look at it as a what happens first sort of thing and what happened at the same time, but without dates. Like a general idea of all the lore we have, but without the dates. That's how I see it. So it's easier for me to go like, okay, this there's something here that's missing, or this is very connected, so they'll probably throw something in about this. So yeah.
Let me get your opinions on the Broken Ghost Quest. Well, if you had to give it a rating from 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I think I'd give it like a 7 or an 8. I didn't quite like the missions were okay. I had fun in the last ones, I guess. The writing, it was good. Some of the episodes I felt that there were fillers. Not all of them were actually like main plot device. Well, like main storylines. Some of them were fillers. But I think for the quest to be like this sort of beta mode that they just threw it in like, oh, we can do this, let's do it. And they went with the idea and came up with it in very little time. It wasn't like something that they originally planned. I think it came out pretty well. I know lots of people are not satisfied with the lore and like with the storyline on how some characters got developed.
I think they said they had about like 2.5 months to make the Ghost Quest. And because of that, I'm not going to be too harsh, because it's very clear this was never going to be a part of season 5. Like they even admitted that, hey, every time we make a new season, we always work a season or 2 ahead. But clearly this wasn't worked ahead. They just had like a few months to do it. So just because of that, I'll give it a 7.5. But if they would have started this like in season 1 and they were going to introduce this later on, I would have given it a 5. Because there's some stuff that didn't make any sense to me. Well, so we got some hints about what's going to happen in the future. But one of the things that really like kind of the last chapter kind of like take me off a bit, because I remember chapter 5, Loba was pretty much saying that, hey, as soon as I get this thing, I'm going to give it to Hammond. They're going to give me the source code and I'm going to go. So her promise to the legends about how she was going to help them with their problems was a lie. That was clearly a lie. She just lied to them. But then the legends, when they figure out the truth because of Bangalore, they're like, what if this thing is something that could destroy the frontier? Even Bloodhound's like, what if this thing is a thing that can slaughter? So, but Rafe was like, hey, let's build this. Okay, sure. Let's build this thing, and once we find out what it is, we'll destroy it. Okay, makes sense enough. So the legends are like, from chapter 5, they're saying to themselves that, hey, we should not trust Hammond, the Syndicate, or Hammond Robotics about building this thing. Okay, makes sense. But then chapter 9, they literally just get a call from the Syndicate or Hammond, I forgot who it was, to, hey, please put this thing underground in this location. Don't ask any questions, just do it. And they just do it. I was like, what's going on here? What happened to, like, let's not trust a hammer robotic. Let's be very careful. So there were some points in the story that made no sense. They were worried that this could have been some kind of weapon. And then just Hammond just said, hey, let's just go over there and put it there. And they just did that.
Yeah, I think it was a lot. There was a lot going on for a very short period of time. Like, it was 9 chapters, right? But when you put it in context, it's just really a very small story, and there's a lot going on for it to be such a small story. So yeah, I totally get what you mean.
How exactly is being a moderator for the Apex Legends and the Apex Lore? How does it work? Like, how do you guys like say, like, do you guys have a schedule where you're like, okay, at this time I'm going to moderate the subreddit, and at this time you're going to moderate the subreddit? How does it work? I always wondered that.
Yeah, being a moderator for both of the subreddits, like the main Apex Legends subreddit and the Apex Lore subreddit, it's 2 different worlds completely. We have, it's a community project as well. Both of them are community run. And obviously the main subreddit is just such a huge community. I think we surpassed the 1 million already. And in the Lore subreddit, we have like almost 30,000 members. So they're 2 completely different communities and completely different teams as well. So we have there's a mod team for the main subreddit that it also is the same. It has other mods as well for the Discord, and the same happens with the Apex Lore. We have a mod team for the subreddit and a mod team for the Discord. And yeah, you have communications with your other fellow mods, and you make decisions as a team, and you come up with new things to implement in the community. We have schedules as well. So yeah, it's pretty much like any other team-based mod. Sometimes the community gets heated, sometimes they're hype.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah, obviously it happens a lot more in the main subreddit because it's a bigger community and there's a lot more people involved, different ages, different cultures, different countries, time zones, languages. So it's a lot to take in. Sometimes it becomes very heated and it may become stressful sometimes. In the lore community, it's so focused on the lore that we have managed to actually make a good community in the subreddit. Like, you can tell that people respect the rules, they stick to the discussions. We have implemented new rules to keep leaks away from the subreddit, and that has worked a lot. Like, we barely see leaks now. Same goes to Discord. So yeah, I think overall it's a very cool experience. It's not for everyone. You have to be online basically all the time. And
oh, we lost Spear.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you said you had to be online all the time in Kuben.
Yeah, you have to be online almost every single minute of the day, and this is when your fellow mods come in and you help out with. You can help them out and they can help you out because of the different time zones, and you can schedule the way you're gonna work. And I think the most difficult part is just remembering, like, this is just a voluntary work. You're managing an internet community.
Yeah, you're not getting paid. Some people were saying that you're
not getting. No, this is completely voluntary. You don't get paid. You do this literally for the community. Sometimes you have to put that ahead of yourself and go like, this is the decision we made. And also in real life, like, the things you do in real life take precedence. They're more important than the community. So that helps you. If you have that clear in your mind, it helps you make better decisions as a mod. It makes you, if you respect your time and you respect the things you do, you can respect others in the community as well. And that helps you be a better mod at the end of the day. It's not for everyone. It's not the same being a member of the community and doing whatever you want in the community that being a mod. So it changes the way that you look at the community, but I think at the end of the day it makes it better. So yeah, that's basically the whole experience. between the two subreddits and this. I don't mod the main Discord. I only mod the subreddit, but I do mod on the Apex Lore Discord. So
Yeah, because I saw Frozen Pro. Sometimes you get those people that like, like to get under your skin.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you gotta be very careful because, everybody can sound tough behind the screen, but they would never say it in person ever.
yeah.
But yeah, so you gotta be pretty tough sometimes to be a moderator. Were you there when the Iron Crown thing happened?
No, I actually started out after that. But I heard
Okay.
I heard the stories. I heard the stories and it was crazy. Like that was one of those events and those moments where the mods had to, they needed to do something about it, and they told me like that it was crazy. It was like everything was going to hell. But at the end of the day, they made it work. They came out from that, and you can't control what people post in the platform. You have a set of rules, and if they follow it, then you can leave the post. If they don't follow it, then you have to make the decision to remove those posts. Same goes to the discussion on the comment threads, and you just, when you're a mod, you have to make sure that the decision you're making is the best for the community.
Best for the community.
Yeah, the people, some people may not like it, you may not agree with it, but if the mod team understands that that's the best decision for the benefit of everyone, then you have to just let go and be part of the team and make that decision. Not all decisions you're gonna agree on it. So yeah, it's not easy. The main subreddit's not easy at all, and the main Discord, it is not easy at all.
Well, Spears, speaking of, removing posts, you actually did remove one of my posts.
I did.
Yes, you did. I remember it very specifically. I made like a joke about how Revenant wants to die. Put Revenant's face on it, and you removed it
For being
putting
a meme.
low quality. Yeah, for being a meme. But wait, but I worked really hard on it. Hey,
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
accept some memes that you work really hard on it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember, and you put low quality effort, and I'm like, this guy, I worked 2 hours on that.
Yeah.
And he put low quality effort.
I
And
remember.
I'm like, one day, I'm gonna get revenge on you. And guess what? I hold on to this grudge this entire time. And now you're here. Now I want to hear your explanation why you removed it.
No, there's a very simple explanation. Is that I've even I think once I removed one of Pro's posts, for example.
Oh,
Backstab.
you backstab Pro,
Yeah,
huh?
and the thing is that when you're modding, there's at least in the main subreddit, there's so many things that you have to, get rid of, that you're literally not looking at who posted it, and if, sometimes game clips and whatnot, you don't look at them entirely. You're just making decision on the run, and there's always an explanation for a post getting removed. And some people were arguing, and they were like, "Oh, you're just removing everything because you have a fetish for removing posts." And it's like that. It's not because you posted it. It's because, well, it's for the community. Like, we're just trying to.
Yeah, it's for the good for the community.
Yeah, we're just trying to keep it up. So yeah, if I ever remove that post from you on the main subreddit and you just try to take it into context, like the time you posted it or whatever, but yeah, there are most likely a lot of people that I removed their posts for being memes or low quality. It's just I will take that bullet because I know for a fact I've removed a lot.
I don't know if you look on your Discord on your messages.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
literally,
sent me.
I still have that.
Yeah,
I
still
sent a
have it.
picture of Revenant with a bounty on you.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it was so
this-
funny.
I'm like, and I know he's gonna see my name and be like, why he send me this?
Yeah,
And he's gonna
yeah.
be like, oh, I remember.
Yeah, I remember. It was funny.
About have you talked to any of the devs, like personally, like through DMs or like video chat or whatever?
Actually, I don't. I never. Well, I think I've shared things with Alex when I only interact with them if they interact with my content. So it's not like I have DMs with them. I actually don't talk with them. I try to maintain my distance from the devs. I respect their work, and I keep my distance because I'm just a member of the community, and even we have contact with them. I only try to have fun times at least on Twitter, which is the only place I actually interact with them. If they like something of mine, or they retweet it, or quote it, or sometimes I reply to Manny with something funny or a GIF or something. But that's basically what I do on social media and the internet platforms. I don't interact with them. I guess it's more of a personal, like, I know for a fact other mods have DMs with the devs, and they have contact with the devs, but I kind of made a personal decision to not go into that, and it has worked so far. Some of the devs do follow me on Twitter and they see my content, but I haven't gone into that, into the whole interacting with them directly and whatnot.
Yeah, so my other thing I want to talk about is leaks. How do you feel about leaks?
Personally, I don't like leaks. I remember, I think the first experience I had with leaks was with back when they started like leaking upcoming skins and like the maps and whatnot. I don't remember exactly the month, but when I saw the first leaks, I was like, I don't actually like this, because I wanted to find out on my own, and I just wanted to play the game, and for it to be a surprise. But when I became a mod, well, I had to, reconsider how I look at leaks. Well, because I have to accept that reality that it is bound to happen. We can't control what people do. People are free to do whatever they want, including data mining and leaking information. And even if the devs say something about it, they can still do whatever they want. Big individuals in the data mining community say like, please don't do this. Let's just keep the lore leaks to a minimum, or don't do it at all. People can still do whatever they want. So, being a mod, I'm like, well, I may not like them personally, but I have to respect others people's wishes, and I have to do whatever is best for the community. Again, in the main subreddit, leaks are allowed. You can post leaks. We have very specific rules on how you can post leaks. But on the other hand, on the Apex Lore community, we made a decision months ago, I think at the start of this year, that we were not gonna allow leaks anymore. And some people, the majority of people, members in the community, have accepted that and have respected that rule. Some other people haven't. We still get some leaks every now and then, but we've taken extreme measures in the subreddit to actually make sure that we don't get leaks and we don't get spoiled, because we understand that at the end of the day, this is the work of somebody else, and they want to portray it and they want to display it as they want, and they want the majority of the community to get hit by surprise and to be excited about the new story. And being in the Apex Lore community, the whole focus of the Apex Lore community on Reddit and Discord is to theorize, to speculate, to come up with crazy ideas, to try to figure out the story. And if you put leaks into that equation, then you lose all of that. It literally takes it apart. It loses meaning. Like when you have a leak, the story, then you can't theorize anymore. You can't come up with new discussions about speculation or crazy theories, because we already know the truth, or we already know the story. So that's why I personally don't like the leaks. But as a mod, I have like these two sides. I don't like them personally, but as a mod, I have to deal with them.
So what about the people that disguise, like they read the leaks but they try to hide it, because I've seen some people doing that.
Yeah, and I think the most clever one was like a few weeks ago, with the first Mila message for crypto. They disguised it in a gameplay, like saying like, oh, there's a new voice line from Mila in game, and they try to do their best to disguise leaks. But I have connections in the community, so I use my connections as a mod to verify some things that I might find like suspicious. So for instance, sometimes I look when the quest started and we started to have all of these influx of theories about who's the mole, for example, that whole discussion, who's the mole. Well, some theories were, I read them and the mods read them, we were like, this is way too suspicious. We had to contact people in the community and just ask them directly, do you know if this is a leak or not? And that's how we managed to actually catch people that try to disguise leaks as theories or as, you know, anything new. So they're sneaky and they're clever, but so far we've gotten them. We've got them. So.
Oh, by the way, I was one of the people that guessed it was Caustic as the mole. And to prove it, I did it before the day any leaks for the last chapters were revealed. So, because I knew some people were going to accuse me of that because of leaks.
Yeah.
So what I decided is like, you know what? This video was meant to go on Thursday, but just so there's no suspicion whatsoever, I'm like at the final part of the video, I just do gameplay and I'm like, okay, Caustic is the mole because, and then I state my reasons.
Yeah.
And then when it was revealed in chapter 8 or was it chapter 9?
Yeah, it was before. Yeah,
it was revealed that it was Caustic. I'm like, okay, I was right. And it was one of those things that honestly, it wasn't that really hard to figure out it was Caustic. It's just that, yeah, it was pretty easy. I mean, first things first is you have to decide, okay, who benefits from working with Revenant? And it was pretty easy. It was Caustic. He wants to know about Revenant's ultimate. Watson 2 and Bangalore. And also Mirage in a way to maybe help his mom.
Yeah.
So those were my 4 suspects. Everybody else didn't really make sense how they could benefit from helping Revenant. And then I'm like, okay, out of the people that could help Revenant, who here is willing to like, what was it? Oh, who here was Revenant's help going to accept?
Right.
And here's the thing, Watson would never betray the legend. So even though she was interested in the technology, it made no sense.
Yeah.
Mirage was just too afraid of Revenant. You know, it was very clear he was afraid of Revenant. He always says like, oh, scary murder bot. So I'm like, no way could Mirage be the mole. So then it was, all of it that was left was Bangalore and Caustic. And I was like, okay, Bangalore could use, maybe she misses her brother Jackson and she could, you know, help Revenant and that way she could see her brother Jackson again. But then I realized, wait, that can't be it because Bangalore said that he's alive. She, in the newspaper clipping, she's in denial that it probably is not Bangalore because in her mind she's still in denial that he's still alive. So the last person that could have been it is Caustic. And because I already knew from back then is that Caustic was in a way connected to the syndicate. The syndicate knew who he was. They said his name, not. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then I'm like, okay, Caustic, I'm 70% sure he's the mole. And then as we went on with the chapters, we found out is that he worked for Benson Dynamics. I'm like, okay, how much did you know that you work for Benson Dynamics? He's like, oh, I know about simulacras and source code. I'm like, you Caustic. Out of nowhere, he just says that, oh yeah, I know why you're working with Revenant because you want to take down the syndicate. And then I'm like, Caustic, how will you know that? Crypto's never said anything about the syndicate.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he always says about something about, oh, they're watching you. I'm here to, you know, take people, somebody down. I'm looking for somebody.
Yeah.
But he's never specifically said the syndicate. And then that's when I'm like, okay, Caustic, 97% sure you're the mole at this point. Like, you're so sus. Nobody else is like, you have connections with the syndicate. You work with Benson Dynamics and Simulac. You try to frame Crypto. You know, you somehow knew that Crypto wanted to take down the syndicate. It was kind of obvious if you really,
I mean,
really put the pieces together.
Yeah, the evidence was there. But I understand. I understand that some people may have thought of that, like, and say, oh, that's too obvious. It can't be it. It can't be that obvious. So they go and say like, okay, let's put this aside and let's look at other evidence, and then they come up with all these new theories about who was the mole. So yeah.
Oh yeah, so I want you to clarify something, because there's no duplicate legends, right?
No, there isn't.
Yeah, because a lot of people still think that there's duplicate legends, and I'm trying to tell them that, hey, technically, the cinematics are canon in a way, but then people are like, okay, so why is there duplicate legends,
Yeah.
And I try to explain is that because it's not the devs or whoever made the cinematic, they didn't want to make random people in the story.
Yeah.
There was no point. Yeah.
There are no duplicate legends, and that it has been stated by the writer, especially Manny. He has explained that there are 60 competitors, just like in a game, and that there are X amount of legends. In this case, we have 13 legends. There are qualifiers before becoming a legend, where competitors, they compete in the blood sport, just like Forge did, and the upcoming Newscastle, who was the competitor after Forge. Yeah, you have to become a champion, and then you can be considered a legend. Obviously, there's an exception to that rule, like Loba, because she came out of nowhere, and because of her connections to Hammond and whatever, then she got a point.
She was popular. They saw like her popularity and were like, oh,
yeah,
money.
Yeah, they saw an opportunity and they were like, you know what, you're the new legend.
Yeah, so sorry, Newcastle. The next season, we promise.
Yeah, but yeah, there are no duplicates. I think that's a misconception that has been going on for too long.
Yeah, it gets kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen because we're going to get like new people that get into the game, and since they're not gonna have any idea what's happening, they're going to assume there's duplicates.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Spirit, for the last thing, I guess you can ask me anything. I guess if I can answer it.
Okay.
So any YouTube tips or what my character's about, or
I think what I want to ask is, what's your favorite lore piece?
My favorite lore piece?
Yeah, or your favorite
crypto.
lore tidbit. Like, what's that little thing that you read or saw and you were like, that's awesome. Like, I love that.
This is gonna be kind of specific, but
sure.
When Crypto was found out by the syndicate and he started he was gonna escape the window, he grabbed the picture of him, Mila, and Mystic.
Yes.
And yeah, so to me, that was kind of touching, and that's why I made it my outro thing, where you see the picture of them being together. So when shit hit the fan, right? He could have not grab anything at all and just run away, but to him it was so important to grab this picture that even when danger was after him, he still grabbed it, because remember, that's his whole thing, forever family.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, Crypto is going to be like that one guy who understands, like me, the bigger picture, and that's why I kind of base my character around, he understands that there's something grander that's happening, and he's slowly going to find out the truth.
That's awesome.
By the way, are you a Forge believer? Do you think he's alive?
I don't think he's alive. I think he's dead.
How dare you? Forge is alive. He is not dead. He's alive.
He hasn't been respawned.
Yes. All right. So that'll be it, Spear. You can go back to our prison camp.
Yes.
I mean. So, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
And thanks. Hope we see you again.
Yes.
Changed, I'm sorry I couldn't save you then. As through the air came the dancing flames. I'll keep screaming out with an unwavering tone. I'll keep on repenting for that night so